So hey guys, today we're going to be making a deck that follows this one condition I have set out. So we're just going to make a pretty solid going second deck, but the only thing about this is I've decided that this deck has to be based. So yeah, someone just sees Tenpai, they're all, uh, Tenpai? I can't believe you're playing Tenpai. And then they're just upset, And then if we're playing kaijus, it's like, oh, you just kaiju'd me, or you just lava golemed me? Sure, you just opened the thing, right? And then yeah, just yeah. You saxed me. I can't believe it. My whole board gone. Couldn't even respond. Couldn't do anything. Well, not today. Now our goal is hopefully to get a response more like, damn, you sure got me. But that deck you're playing is actually kind of cool, So our goal is to at least get to one of these from I guess one of these. So all right, well, let's get started. So first off, we're going to be trying for going second as well. So I think we can avoid going first, just entirely any cards for that. And hand traps. Would it be more based to play hand traps or more based to not play hand traps? That is the question here. So efficiency is important as well. So let's think about this. Hand traps. Imperm is going to always be solid. Okay, I don't think anyone would be too mad at you for playing Imperm, right? Imperm probably gets a neutral expression, I'd say. So let's see. Imperm is useful against any monster just base strategy, really. So, for example, if we're against Sword Soul, even if we don't use this on the turn 1, we can hold this for turn 2 and use this on like the Baron to deal with the Omni Negate there. Or we could stop the combo by hitting Moyu. So we'll just be selective with our hand traps, I think. Or our our hand traps, I guess. So what next? We have Imperm. Good start. Maybe we should start working on our engine and trying to figure out how we win against our opponent. So we will have to deal with our opponent's monsters somehow. And I mean, if you get hit by like a Raigeki, so we're going to assume you're on a deck that is of course affected by Raigeki somewhat. Well, you see Raigeki, it's just same kind of energy as Kaiju. Like, oh, yeah. You definitely open Raigeki, I guess. Sure, cool. So that feels less like this and more like this, Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get up to this point, but all right. Well, let's see from here. We should probably focus our energy on finding an engine that you can actually interact with, because I guess most people, the biggest problem they have with Tenpai is going to be this card here, and then this card here, preventing you from interacting with your opponent essentially at all. And then you also have stuff like Super Poly, Forbidden Droplet, which prevents your opponent from interacting with you. So that's not great. Dark Ruler no more, also not great. But also, at the same time, we're going second, bro. We're the ones in disadvantage because, you got to do whatever you wanted for free, kind of just all willy-nilly. You can just do whatever you want because I decided, I'm going second. Or you could attempt to do your combo, right? But you'll still complain like, oh, yeah, you're playing Forbidden Droplet. But I had to play Forbidden Droplet, right? What else was I gonna do when you have, like, for example, Apollosa plus Omni Negate or whatever? So if I were to try Raigekiing or Imperming on maybe like Apollosa, you would still negate that, and then you would just hit me with like 4 monster negates, right? So that's not great. And also, just now that I think about it, like any spell trap based kind of going second deck or strategy, like if we were to go with Runic, that's just incredibly not based, honestly, I'd say, arguably. So the thing about going for spells and traps would mean like it's not directly Tenpai, but most most cards in the game right now are focused on monster cards. So yeah, if we're not activating a monster effect, we're not really being that based, right? So, well, not just based. Our opponent can't respond to it, and apparently that's not based because nobody likes Tenpai. So I think we still do need some spells and traps though. So I think spells and traps are just fine. We shouldn't overdo it after a certain point. I think triple tactics is not something you would be too mad about. So if we just had at least like thrust and talents, going to decide if I want more thrust later, but I don't think you would be too mad about thrust. I mean, thrust is kind of like um, how would I put this? Kind of on the cusp of like making someone angry because it's like, oh, you hard open thrust, yada yada, right? So maybe that's close to something our opponent would dislike, but yeah, I'm thinking for board breakers, public would be pretty solid, essentially. So the idea behind Eldlick is simply that it's just constant removal. So if we can somehow work Eldlick in, I'd be a happy lad. But if it can't, that's also fine. Against Ryzeal specifically, this wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world. Except for, the fact that if I don't use a spell or trap against this deck, what am I literally supposed to do? So, yeah, I don't see it right here. So, blindness maybe, but okay. You can, without even starting a chain, negate my monster effect. So if I were to go Eldlik, I would go -2 for Ryzeal Cross here to just hit Moon. So, dumb. So Eldlik doesn't work really well in this exact situation at the moment. So, alright. Backer removal. We simply play it. Lightning Storm. 2 of. And then Duster. Heavy. And we have at least this, plus the triple tactics thrust to get us kind of 5 copies of these back row removal cards we have here. Pretty solid start, I'd say. And then with Eldlink, well, we would need a continuous supply of spells and traps to kind of like just recycle Eldlink and keep utilizing Eldlink. I guess there was this new zombie card. So if I search zombie, it should go up somewhere. Do I not have a copy of this card? Well then. Delta of Invitation. Let's see. If I activate this sends Eldlick. If a monster is added from the graveyard to the hand while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. So, does Delta of Invitation trigger when I add Eldlick to my hand? I mean, if it does, that would be helpful. But at the same time, this gives our opponent an opportunity to actually hand trap us with like an Ash Blossom Joe Spring on Delta of Invitation. And also, a Delta of Invitation becomes kind of a choke point for us. Let's see. If a zombie monster is on the field, you can special summon 1 Delta token. Yeah, that's not a useful effect, is it? And also, how many times are you allowed to activate this card? Once per turn. Wait. You can only use each of the following effects of delta of invitation once per turn as well. Oh, that's a little bit annoying. Well, maybe we just cut the Eldlik idea altogether and we just find something else. Well, if we want to go second, we need something still though. But there's nothing we could do that would be that fair. And even if we were to do something fair, our opponent already did something unfair because they went first. And that's already unfair, just straight up, you know? Regardless if we were playing a going second deck or not. Just going second is just unfair, you know? So what could we do here? Is there even an idea? If we were to play Kashira cards, I guess these guys are like kind of big. They could be useful, except that there's not that many of them. So even if we were to play Fenrir plus Raids off can be ashed. You can destroy Raids off. It's just like not great in general. And also one of Fenrir. Yeah, not really happy about that. And then Unicorn going second is like, ain't that a bit slow, Chief? Unicorn, much different beast going first. So yeah, not so happy about that idea. Even if we were to go like Theosis for Fenrir, it's still not great because this is summoned in defense position, meaning we can't attack. So if our opponent does literally nothing, we can't do anything back. All right. So how about this play then instead? We go for some Zeus plays. I happen to have 3 Zeus, you know? We could attack into an XYZ monster, or we could attack with an XYZ monster. We can make Zeus, do some board wiping. That seems fine, I guess. But also at the same time, yeah, cross. Remember that cross exists. That's still annoying. Well, how can we do this? Well, first off, I want to check the Malice field spell to see what it says exactly. Is this only when you do battle with a monster? Your opponent's monsters can only target Mouse Lake monsters for attacks, meaning you cannot attack directly while a Malice monster is on the field. Really? This is actually better than Crusadia Avramax because technically you can still attack directly because it's only when your opponent would target like a monster for an attack, it has to be Avramax. That's the wording on Avramax. But for this one, you have to like this is on par with like the U-Bell continuous for whatever reason. Okay. So if I want to do a kind of like Zeus play, just going for something like Leerless to attack directly. No, not really feeling that as an option here. Okay, how about these cards? How do they work real quick? Just wondering. If this card is sent from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, you can target one monster on the field, destroy it. Is there a good way for me to send these? I could maybe do something with like Unchained to send these. But also these cards are like really bad and kind of useless if I can't send them, so it's like, But it's interesting because chain blocking, you'd chain block these effects because they're triggers. Anything else that we could hook up here? So destroy effects, yeah. I think people would complain about evenly as well, honestly. Yeah, even like these two are kind of on the line, you know? They're like some people are pretty 50-50 about this. Like they'll complain about talents, they'll complain about thrust. So yeah, hell, they'll even complain about back row removal. So what card am I allowed to play? Just Imperm by itself? Like, all right, but focusing back up. If I were to summon a monster, that monster's gonna get taken out back so fast. So, for example, if I'm playing against Malice, then there is the threat of it being banished by the non-target Banish Trap. And there will be no opportunity to really Zeus here. And then there's like potential Apollosa as well that we have to stare down. And then other negates, Hack Gambit, for example. All of those are technically options. So, not looking great at the moment. What else can we do here then? Well, danger. This plays around Apollosa. Pretty lovely, I guess, that this plays around Apollosa, and then we go rank 8 Zeus play. If I recall correctly, Lancelot starts a chain. So we do want some dangers, at least I think that's very solid. These guys are pretty big, but at the same time, destruction isn't good enough against Ryziel. It's just kind of like eh. And they're also monster effects, so just eh. Part 2. If we could do some chain blocking, that would help, I guess. Would people cry about Bistils? I mean, at one point, I feel like people would have cried about Bistils, but I think right now we could work in Bistils, and that'd be okay. I think we can at least play these guys. I mean, we need cards in the deck, so that's something. Bistils are also good for dealing with the Apollosa as well, somewhat. We have like the idea of chain blocking for Druid's Worm. So next, I guess we want maybe some level 4 monsters that are either light or dark. Alright, we'll just check, I guess, then. Effect. Light, dark. Level 4. What can we play with this? Centurions, like, eh. The going second ability on that's like, nah, dude. BD is pretty racist, I guess. We'll just leave it at that. Breaker's kind of funny, though, honestly. I kind of like Breaker. But, alright. Continuing. Let's increase the rarity to filter out some of these guys. What was this do? Destroyed by card effect specifically and not by battle. Okay. That's not great. Barrier Statue of the Abyss is a bit useless here, honestly. Not that based, is it? Amano Awado is pretty good, though. But would people consider that base? Probably not. Alright. What is this? You attribute one monster, add one monster from your deck to your hand whose combined original attack defense equals the combined original attack defense of the attributed monster. That's so specific? I don't think that's going to happen, like, at all. Sky Striker's like, eh, I don't think Sky Striker's that based. If a monster special summon from the extra deck is in the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can add one Dogmatic card. I think Ecclesia is like probably fine, right? Special summon Ecclesia, and then we can add was it Maximus? No, not Maximus. Fleur-de-lis? Yeah. Add Fleur-de-lis effect. You can special summon this card from hand, then if you control another Dogmatic monster, you negate the effects of one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That's not good enough, honestly. I mean, it's like starting to get somewhere though. It does special summon itself, so it's like a maybe in my book still. If our opponent controls like a special summon monster, we should be able to special summon Fleur-de-lis if we just open that by itself as well. What tuna? This just doesn't work. because this can be negated even during the battle uh, damage calc by cross. And if our opponent has the Malice field spell, which they will, if they have underground, we cannot attack directly. So that doesn't work for those two reasons already. So that's not playable. Chimera, maybe. Maybe this card special summon one monster from your deck that mentions Chimera Fusion except for Mirror Sword Knight. This doesn't special summon itself from hand or anything though. Unless they're the Invoker. Honestly, maybe. Alistair's pretty incredibly based, I'd say. We could do something with rockets as well. Technically, rockets are not that terrible for what we have at the moment. Still not great though. Still eating Oviraptor. Do people still think Dinosaur is cringe or anything like that because Misk? Oh man. It's rough out here. For sure. This is every SRUR here, right? Toy Box. If I'm not playing White Forest, I don't think anyone could say this is cringe, right? Surely? Toy Box. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects from your hand, deck, and from your hand, deck, face-up monster zone, and/or graveyard. Choose up to 2 monsters with toy in the original names that can set themselves from the hand as a spell and set them in your spawn trap zone as spells. Destroy up to 2 cards in your spawn trap zone is the other effect. And then the other all once per turn effect. Okay. We're getting somewhere. This has the effect to add level 4 light monster instead. You control toy box. So now I think Ecclesia is starting to be an actual option. So something like this, like how can you complain about special summon Ecclesia? Add Fleur de Lis, right? Like come on. And then from here, we probably want some sort of rank 8, right? We'll just quickly check those. 8 XYZ. Divine Golden Shadow Dragon. Okay. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. That's not good enough. I guess we definitely want this regardless. I don't think there's like that many super insane goated rank 8s here. I guess this one's helpful. Just in general. And then Ding, I guess. We can take Ding as well. That'll be helpful. Ding effect to send, and then it has the effect to protect, which is helpful against Ryzeal, I guess. Technically, right? We can do things with those. And then we can threaten Chaos Angel with this plus Pistols. Or this plus Pistols, I think is pretty nice. When we deal with the back room, yeah, it should help out a lot. Okay. We have to be a little bit careful with the Pistols though, because it can stop us from using Lightning Storm. Yeah, just something to keep in mind. Just a little bit, I guess. We can get them off the field though, technically. Well, I mean, Typhon I think is incredibly based. I've never seen anyone complain about Typhon, so should be fine. Well, this is a good start, I suppose. Toy box with pistols and Ecclesia, like no complaints so far, surely. All right, so we still have half a deck to build, pretty much. All right. We probably want a way to send the cards we set off of Toy Box. So before, this is why I was thinking like Eldlik was no good, but if we're including Toy Box, I think Eldlik becomes okay again, honestly. It's fine, right? Eldlik's levels like not that great for the type of plays we might want to be making, but I think it's still okay. And then like Delta would be good in general, I think. Let's see. But where do you send? Send this card and one spell trap from your hand to the graveyard. Wait. You have to send a spell trap from your hand? Where am I going to get... Man. It's just Delta of Invitation. But I can keep looping Eldlik to special summon it with the toy box stuff, right? Hey, this doesn't send from field? Really? What's this jank-ass garbage? Okay, maybe we don't play Eldlik after all. I guess we have Heavy to pop these guys. This can just special summon anything, right? Well, no. Special summon 1 level 6 or lore monster from your hand. Which includes Bestials, so good synergy here. Super Poly, I think, wouldn't have some complaints. Regular Poly. Honestly, regular Poly. I think I'm down to just play regular Poly. And there are a few targets for regular Poly, actually. That's completely incredibly based. Like, come on. So here we have, I guess, 2 cards worth thinking about. Let's see. 1 monster special summon from the extra deck plus 1 monster in the hand. I mean, if it comes up, it comes up, right? But main target we want to go for is Guardian Chimera here, I think. Maybe we run something aside from regular Poly, actually. I think there was something else that might have worked better. If our extra deck gets filled up, I guess I can adjust. Like, start by removing 1 copy of Zeus, I suppose. Alright. What other polymerizations were there? Let's filter by spell. Okay. Sepatiel, whatever. Evoke Fusion. Fusion Sub. Using monsters you control. You can banish this. The graveyard, then target 1 fusion monster in your graveyard, return to the extra deck, then draw 1 card. Well, they have to be all cards we control, that's not great. But what's this do? Return all dragon monsters on the field to hand. That's funny, but it's like not useful here. Heavy Poly. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using 3 or more monsters from your hand or field. You can also banish monsters from your extra deck as material up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, but you lose LP equal to the total attack of monsters banished this way. The monster's fusion summon. Oh, I actually wanted to play this card at some point, but it's like, I can't even think of a target that we can use for this. Yeah, none of these guys are the right types for this. Otherwise, like, we could arguably summon Quintet with this, which I think is just hilarious. Is Quintet, like, not targetable or something? I guess I'll have to check that later. Ultra Poly. Only using monsters you control. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response. Banish this card from graveyard, then turn 1 fusion monster. Thus, fusion summon with this card's effect. Special summon all the fusion materials. They're negated and their attack is the defense set to 0. Needing do this. The only way we could do this is like before for a Scorpio, really. If we open this card, it's not even good. Wait, what? There's just a card that adds polymerization to your hand? Oh. Oh. This also does that, huh? Wait, this effect's actually kind of interesting. Fusion recycling plant can... I can fuse with something dumb. And then return it to the hand. Huh. Fusion recovery. Nope. Ultra poly. Again. Add one edge imp monster and one polymerization. Edge imp chain. This card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard. You can add one favorite card from your deck to your hand. If I play this, like, Elblick becomes a maybe again. Still don't really like the idea of Elblick here, honestly. And with the specific deck build we have, I don't think we're good with dangers here either. Okay then. But we still have some other cards that we can take a look at. Let's do... what was it called? Ret Time? Or something like that? Yeah, there we go. Down here. Ret Time Reviver Emitter. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target one face of monster on each field. Wait, each field. That means I have to target something on my field. Is that fine? It is. If I target a bestial, I can flip summon it. Okay, yeah. That's fine. Change them to face down defense position. Wait, change them. Hold up. Change them, you say. Like this. Destroy both. What does them mean? Does that mean we have to do both? Change them to face down defense position, and if you do, special summon this card. Okay, so even if they were to pop my bestial, they should still book, right? I think. Maybe. And then this should get us the ability to make a rank 8. So, but we have no waters, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd make Risen Dragite here. Yeah. If only we had some, like, solid water monsters, but I don't think there's anything we can do with that. Okay. Is there something we can do to obliterate our opponent here? Well, I mean, we can increase the amount of toy soldiers because we don't really have normal summons here in this deck. We can normal summon toy soldier potentially. Grab toy box, and toy box effect to do something. So this form of removal is not that good, honestly. We might decrease the amount of time reviver emitters we're playing because it's really bad against like link decks. That's the main issue here. But you know, have Book of Moon effect. No, I don't think anyone's ever going to complain about that. That's like chill, right? If we were to play Book of Moon, that would be like better situationally, but still great. I'd say not bad. I still would also like something good against Malice as well now. So specifically, the thing with Malice is they have traps, right? Is there a monster that just deals with traps in a good way? I mean, Denko Seka, what was this do? Neither player can set spell Slash traps, nor activate spells slash trap cards that are set on the field. Denkoseka, I think that's based enough. Like, if someone cries about Denkoseka, like, honestly, I don't know what to do anymore. If we're playing Denkoseka, I think we can drop the Toy Soldiers to at least 2 then. And then Red Time Reviver emitter, I mean, it's like, I'm still 50-50 on I feel about this. Hmm. Continuing on though. I guess we could throw in like potentially a Baron, honestly, at this point. It's possible to make Baron, but would people complain about me making Baron going second? Like, oh, that's what you're doing with Time Reviver Emitter. You're just going to... Actually, wait, doesn't this smash itself? Oh. This also works from Graveyard, right? So if we were to discard this, it's fine. I mean, ideally, we would have a way to discard this, but if not, it's still, like, fine. Diviner, I guess, would be interesting, because Diviner can actually send this. Hmm. Interesting. Is there a good monster that I can just special summon that's... Oh, wait a second. Doesn't this exist? Link Slayer. Discard up to 2 cards and target that many spell traps on the field. Destroy them. Nah. Apolos is a card that exists. Is there a way for me to, like, have, like, obliterate Apolos and such? But in a based way, because if it's not based, that's problematic, as you all know, so... This effect isn't activated. This effect is. This will just be special summoned. So actually, wait, can't I just play Adventure? Adventure Engen. Activate Rite of Aramis here. Resolves. Set Faithful. Do something. Trigger Faithful. Send. Effect. Alt Faithful. And then I just have the token, which is useless unless I perform a synchro play. I cannot book the token. This token is going to be Earth attribute, so I cannot make House Angel either. Package itself is like fine, it works, but like not as efficiently as I would like. Fiendsmith is incredibly not based. I think most people would say it's like, ew, Fiendsmith. That's probably the reaction I would get if I put Fiendsmith in this, right? Yeah. I think Guardian Chimera is like pretty based because this becomes not targetable because of actually using a polymerization, right? Yeah. Ideally, though, I think we would want to send something that triggers when it gets sent to the graveyard by polymerization. Is there a card that just does something when it gets sent to the graveyard? It doesn't even have to be that good, right? So, yeah. Just running raw poly is honestly not good enough. We'll have to risk it. So... we'll need to run Patchwork, and then, like, at least 2 Gem Chains. And then this will also do some chain blocking and stuff for us, and it's also a level 4, which is good for... I guess. Gas Angel? We can throw in a Muckraker, I guess. SP. But would people say, ugh, ew, you summon SP? I can't believe you would do something as on basis as like, what do you want me to do, bro? Last thing I'm thinking is like maybe throw in Verte with Dragoon. Verte Dragoon? Verte Dragoon. What do we have to worry about if we go Verte for Dragoon? Well, Verte, you can't actually stop Verte. If you were to try to pop Verte, that doesn't work. If you were to already use your removal, what is there that you can do with Verte? Nothing. And we also have this as a target as well. Honestly, like, let's change the ratio. Actually, I don't even really like this that much. I think we want at least 2 poly in the deck. Yeah. So, do we actually want more copies of Patchwork? I think we want more copies of Patchwork. And then we could finish up with quick, small Garnet package here. And then throw in Birthday Dragoon, and then we have, like, everything just set, right? And the only brick here will be Red Eyes Fusion. Right? Can we put that many bodies on the field? 1, 2, 3 ish. Maybe we have access to this. Viner would be nice though as well. I don't think we need this many copies of Zeus then. I do think I want to keep those guys around a bit. Gimmick Puppet, Giant Grinder, honestly, I'm not sure if we need. It's like a lot of removal, but it's like, at the same time. I think if we want to be more efficient, yeah. Keep these guys, probably. Muckraker's cuttable, though. Just a little bit. It helps that Muckraker can do some protecting, I guess. Potentially. We have no fires, no need for Promethean Princess. So yeah, let's go over to Dragoon. And wrap up with making the extra deck a little bit more efficient. We have thrown in exactly 1 Garnet into the deck, but I think it's incredibly base to have Garnets rather than not. So we'll go with that, I guess. So Dragoon, Verte, Red Eyes Fusion. Red Eyes. Black Dragon. Dark Magician. Nothing more based than DM, I guess, apparently. Well, until Dark Magician gets its support, in which case everyone will hate Dark Magician, as with Blue Eyes, probably. I mean, I haven't seen it, but, you know, that's the typical pattern, you know? So, anything else we need here? I guess we can go potentially Dispatter. I mean, it could come up, maybe. We don't have a level 8 dragon, but we can change that, you know, and we can make it happen. Oh yeah, the thing I was actually worried about was not Dispatter, it was actually the other synchros that we don't have at the moment. Well, if we have room, I'll put in Dispatter. Aside for that, it's like, whatever. Synchro 6 is a level we need to look into, and then Synchro 8 as well. Oh, Penguin Brave! That's funny. I mean, we can't really use this, right? Gold Bride Starland. Oh, that's not useful. Oyo Guardian. By battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your field in defense position. That doesn't work against Link decks. And also it requires battle. Psychic Nightmare. This just gains attack, that's all it does. Mind Castlin. This synchro summon card is sent to the graveyard. You can technically face a monster on each field, switch control those monsters. Mind Castlin, incredibly based. Enough said. Okay, I think that's good. And then maybe we want 1 more guy. Any others? Synchro 6s that are base looking. I think these guys are like, whatever, right? I think they require waters. Oh, that's useful actually. Synchro 8. We should have something that we can make, at least. If you synchro summon this, or if this card is sent to the graveyard, target one monster in your graveyard or one face-up monster your opponent controls, discard one card. And if you do, place that monster in its own exploding trap. Zone as a face-up continuous trap during either player's turn. This card is a continuous trap. You can special summon one face-up monster card from your spell and trap zone. Hmm. That's okay. Baker Berserker's like just okay, honestly. It's not that great here, is it? This isn't generic, is it? Oh wait, it is. This card is banish. You can banish one fish monster. I do not have any. Hmm. Looking like maybe it's going to be Omega or Black Gambit at the moment. This isn't generic. Is this one generic? It's not. Crimson Blader. That's not even useful, is it? Stardust Dragon? You know what? But like actually though, you contribute this card and get the activation if you do destroy it. I think this is like peak based. I could not come up with a much better deck than this. Boom. You know what? This hand's actually like decent. I wouldn't cry about this hand. Oh, wait, what was the purpose of this toy box again? Do we have a way to send our cards? We have a Heavy Storm here. That's a way to do it. So that'd be like activate toy box effect. Then we go Heavy Storm, and then we get two bodies. Not bad. We also have like normal summon Dengoseka to follow this up. And also I'm going to Verte and then going to SP Little Knight. We might actually have to cut my Kraker for a different link too, I think, actually. This is actually simply too inefficient because we don't have anything to go into SP with unless we go through Verte, which honestly is like fine to go through Verte, I think. So we can just keep this. It's just a matter of like the rest of this. This also allows us to go into Guardian Chimera as well, right? So if I were playing against Malice, I think the play would literally be normal summon Nenkoseka, activate Toy Box, boom, Heavy Storm, and then we can chain block to allow Toy Soldier to be special summoned to add a second Toy Box. Toy Box is not hard once per turn. We can activate Toy Box again. And we can attempt to special summon Toy Tank. If our opponent like apples that, they apple it, right? And it's not like a big deal. And that's dealt with. If our opponent's on Ryzel, we just change the sequence probably. And we can just go like Heavy Storm, or we can go like normal summon Denko, Heavy Storm. And then we have like Fight for Patchwork, which adds us another body as well. So we can grab a second Fight for Patchwork, which allows us to eventually get into our second polymerization, hopefully. And there's still also the idea of going Verte into Dragoon later. Still, right? Because, yeah, can we make anything here? One monster special summon from the extra deck plus one monster in hand. We don't have anything like that, right? Magnum the Reliever, yeah. I mean, still like decent. Things considered, right? Lightning Storm, special summon Ecclesia, activate Talents. We can talents to do whatever. And then we have second Ecclesia, which we can just normal zone. Would like to see a hand with like Viscerals as well, though. Yeah, this is like fine, right? And then these two would make Chaos Angel. Yeah. Or we can go into Stardust Dragon. Incredibly based. Yeah. Stardust Dragon's not even optimal, but like, if we want to be based, I think that's pretty up there. If we want it to be more optimal, I think Pack Gambit would have been like a lot more optimal actually. So yeah, I guess we'll just call it here and say this is good enough. So yeah, I mean, I'd say this looks pretty base. Could this beat every deck out there? Maybe not, but can't say this isn't a base going second deck, I guess, right? So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.